focus far too much on that point of interaction with HMRC and the submission that needs to take place, rather than the behaviour that it is forcing. And I think that would be my kind of key message about making tax digital, particularly for income tax and self-assessment. So what we have in the UK, I've just got back from a trip to Australia, and the GST limit in Australia is the equivalent to £44,000, whereas our VAT limit is £85,000. So you've got this massive proportion of businesses in the UK that don't need to keep quarterly records. I believe keeping quarterly records is a good thing. So actually forcing those businesses to get into that habit is a good thing. The method of doing it, how HMRC actually manage relationships with software vendors, relationships with agents, is all up for debate. I think it could get pretty messy, but I think the overall direction of travel is one that I support. I don't know if you've got anything to add to that.
So I'd say the other thing as well is, as professionals, we choose to make it complicated. So I think the whole thing of we use big, complex words because we think that makes us special. In reality, a lot of the jobs to be done are simple. So if you turned around to someone and said, right, okay, here's a tool that will enable you to generate a sales invoice that when you're with your customer, as you leave, you can say, great job, there you go, invoice is there ready for you to pay, changes the way people have a perception on it. And I think for all too long, accountants, lawyers have turned around and almost, let's use complex phrases that will put people off. We should be speaking simple language. And I think in the report there's Jess from Stevenson's Law talks about how they've been using AI to almost, how do you ask a question and come back with a simple answer? And again, I think that's what advisors need to be doing more of, is how do we ask questions and structure our answers in a way that a 5-year-old would understand, because suddenly then that starts to open people's minds up and they get it. Why are you giving a bag of receipts to your accountant at the year end? You could be more successful, you could have an easier life if you kept a record as you went along. So I think that actually the professional services need to change the language we use.
And if we duplicate that narrative across the whole remit, so again, from the website perspective, it's not, you've got to spend time on the developer, you've got to wireframe it, you've got to really think about your value proposition message, which is important, but having that same messaging into actually a website of, I need to be able to take bookings differently, I need to go in different conversations with my clients, I need to be in control of my diary rather than running around like a headless chicken forgetting things. So if we did, yeah, so it's bringing that I think, so if we flip that narrative of all the different support services, the website has to be part of that too.
Yeah, so you're talking about what? So talking to customers about the outcome and being able to advise on the outcome. Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that. Some of the partners we work with, particularly in the hosting industry, have gone through that transition as well, from having a very technical conversation about gigahertz and megabytes and gigabytes, and now talking about solutions and how you can save someone time, how they can do more, how they can make more money. So we've definitely seen that transition happening. Yeah.
It's the language that these market businesses don't understand. They don't know what ISPs are. They don't, Go on, Ash, you've got a thought as well.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that it highlights, all of this highlights the fact that I think we've got an opportunity and arguably a responsibility as an ecosystem, as players in the ecosystem, business owners, managers and employees to not only sell the right thing to the right person at the right time, essentially using technology, but also as customers to advocate the right tools at the right time. Because as customers, we're going to cut through that noise. We're not going to use that jargon. I sat down in a Starbucks with Gordon when they first developed one of the mobile website creation tools at BaseKit. And before I'd finished my coffee, I created a website and published it online. And whereas, Simon or Gordon might talk about that in a very technical sense to a lot of people, I was just able to go to our members and or friends and family and say, I saw someone create a website on their phone in under 5 minutes, and that just cuts through the noise. People can see.
They don't want to know how. They don't understand
how.
They don't
That's
mind.
Not relevant. The job of the product is to walk them through that really easily without any barriers, and that's what makes a great product like BaseKit. But but before that happens, it just needs advocacy. And I think, you know, it costs nothing but maybe a small tweet or a LinkedIn post or something to say, here's how great this tool is, you know, here's how awesome Dex is, because it saves me from having paperwork on my desk constantly. Thank you for creating it. Like, it saves me from having a big old book with numbers in because I've got 0 on my account. And it's not hard for me to advocate that. Indeed, I've ended up building a business that literally does that for a living, advocating the right tools at the right time to the right people. But I think we all kind of have a responsibility and an opportunity to
I
build
think
better
0 is
businesses.
great because you've been a leader in this.
Well, I was going to ask Ash a question actually. To what extent do you think disruption needs to happen to a business owner in order for them to recognise the value of this stuff? So I was talking to Simon earlier. For example, I went to try and buy some brownies from a stall at the Harbour Festival, and it just had a cash only sign on it, and therefore, you know, I didn't have any cash on me, and they lost my business. Do you think that sometimes perhaps people need to feel that pain of not getting somebody's business or losing a member of staff or whatever it might be in order to kind of have that penny drop moment?
I think the answer isn't necessarily just pain, right? Like, the reason anybody buys anything is because they're trying to solve a problem that causes them pain, and there's the value perception or the potential ROI of the solution of that pain is higher than the cost of enduring it in the first place. But we also go on holiday, and I don't go on holiday because I'm stressed and I'm worn out and I need a holiday. I go on holiday because I would like to visit a place, and so the reason I'm paying for that and the value perception of that is that it's a gain, it's an opportunity, it's a nice to have. You know, I buy these shoes rather than just flip flops not because they're more comfortable. They're both on the bottom of my feet and they're both protecting me from hurting my feet, but one just makes me feel nicer. So something is sold because of a problem that's created, just like your payment analogy, but someone might use this tool because they see, actually, it makes me be 50% more efficient with my customers at the till, and actually maybe saves me money. That, you know, just better than I do even, that there are payment gateways and payment processors that make their whole living in a massive business by saving somebody a tiny percentage on their payment fee and their merchant fee, and that's a whole business. And that's not necessarily solving a pain. I'm not sat there and gone 3.2% of the payment fee is really annoying. Wouldn't it be great if I had 2.9%? Someone's just gone, I reckon we could make it sound great if we save 1.3%, and so that just becomes a business in of itself.
So
yeah.
we're wrapping up. So Simon, you have a final point on that, because I agree that I do think COVID did give a lot of people.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I was going to say the
We've had a
ultimate,
wonderful one, haven't we?
the
Let's take
ultimate
our positives.
disruption.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Let's take positives. Come on.
Sure.
It's possible to review their businesses. They need to look
Exactly.
at it differently.
and what we saw is not necessarily new businesses starting out. We saw existing businesses that may be kind of brick and mortar type businesses, then going online for the first time, and having some really impressive results. Now we've come out of the pandemic and brick and mortar's back open again. They're getting bigger, more flourishing
But we need
businesses.
to review that. I know there's a few, obviously, you haven't taken growth as well. There's a lot of businesses going, we ended up doing a thing because of COVID. Now we need to look and see if that was the right thing. Let's review it. There was a knee-jerk reaction. And at least got some tech adoption in some of these micro businesses for whom it was terrifying, daunting. They got going with help of some of us in this room. How do we now fine-tune it, finesse it, and take it forward? We've run over time, sorry. The call to action is read the report. There's lots of stuff here. It didn't surprise me hugely, but the comments and the stats were quite shocking. We haven't cracked how to reach these micro businesses. I agree. Our plan of everybody in the room is to keep doing what we do. We meet people, empower them, and get them to have a play. Look at BaseKit, start. Pop a little website together. The key thing is getting them to have a look, get started, to look out from their business, which is the most difficult thing in the world for any micro business owner. But thank you all very much to the panel. Thank you all for everyone in the room.
A bit of a shameless plug. So this is going to be kind of the first micro business report we do this year, but we're hoping to continue the series and do it at least once a year. So if there's anyone interested in kind of collaborating, getting involved on that in any way, whether that's kind of commentating or helping us with collecting data or whatever it might be, then do get in touch.
It's a conversation we need to be having. Thank you very much. Cool. Enjoy the rest of the Tech Festival, everybody.